Hi everyone, welcome back to Adekunle Talk Show. And on today's episode, we'll be having a conversation with Adeboro Adamson SAN. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria, a young senior advocate of Nigeria. It's going to be an interesting session. Please come with me. Welcome to Adekunle. This show actually tries to bridge the gap between young lawyers and senior advocates of Nigeria. And we are pleased to have you on set today. By way of introduction, my name is Adekunle, the team leader on this initiative, and I have here my colleague, Manuel Latosin, also part of the team.
You're welcome.
In a short part, can we get to know you, sir?
Yeah, my name is Adeboro Adamson SAN. I'm the senior partner in Adeboro Adamson SAN & Co. I'm a legal practitioner, as you know, into purely litigation, with my head office in Asokoro, Abuja, and branches in some states in Nigeria.
Sir, can you please run us through your journey to becoming senior advocate of Nigeria? When were you called to Nigerian bar and when you conferred with prestigious rank of the senior advocate of Nigeria?
Thank you very much. My journey was not easy, but I thank God that where I am today is by His grace. I was never born with a silver spoon, purely from a very humble background, but the grace of God has sustained me thus far. I went to a primary school in the village as a village boy, and in the course of the journey, I equally attended a secondary school. Anyway, by the way, I went to local authority primary school. Then I proceeded to a community school, secondary school, all in my hometown in Akoko, Ondo State. I moved from my secondary school, Lemonpo Comprehensive High School in Akoko. I moved to Ojibaye Comprehensive High School in Ekiti State, in Ekiti State, where I had my WASC in 1989. Thereafter, I moved to Lagos. I moved to Military Cantonment Ikeja, Lagos, where I did GC and did my JAM. Eventually, I entered university in 1991, October, November, though it was reckoned 1992. Then I went to Ondo State University, Ado Ekiti, now Ekiti State University, where the first set of the law students there, invariably, we graduated in 1997 December. Then I resumed Nigerian Law School in April 1998. Then was called to bar in September 1999. Immediately after my call to bar, a day after, I resumed full litigation work at Chief Adamson Chambers in Ibadan. Yes, I was there for a very short time, but I can tell you that that was the foundation of my legal practice. My months in Adamson Chambers like years, equivalent of years, considering the experience I garnered there. And particularly when I had my tutelage under the able leadership of Mr. Lateef Agbemi SAN, now the Attorney General of the Federation, who was the head of chambers when I was there. I was thoroughly trained, and I was given full attention. And today, the entire story is based on that. The entire story of being the senior advocate of Nigeria was based on that. While we were trying to ensure that I had my NYC in Ibadan, particularly with Chief Adamson Chamber, destiny took me to Abuja, even though I struggled against destiny, but it did not work because I'd wanted to go back to Ibadan to ensure that there was no break in my practice. But like I said, fate took me to Abuja and I was posted to Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC. Initially, I rejected it, but when I put a call to Chief Adamson Adeboro, he said, your service in Corporate Affairs Commission is not a waste. That is part of experience. Stay there. When you are done with your practice, you can come back to the chambers. Yes, it was a good time in Corporate Affairs Commission. But before I finish, some young lawyers were already wooing me to be in their teams. And I weighed my option. And there was a particular law firm, Additional and Associates, which was basically into human rights. And because of my nature as a young man who was hungry for the cause of humanity, to ensure that we protect people and fight the battle of others, I joined the law firm. That was in 2001. Now, in the firm, again, I tremendously gained experience because we were working in team with the likes of Mr. Femi Falana SAN, the late Bamdela Turu, Mr. Bola SAN, who became SAN the same year. So that I was their boy, the errand boy they were sending to everywhere. And during that time, I traveled virtually over everywhere in Nigeria. I was as a young man, and I was happy doing it, even though there was no encouragement in terms of financial inducement. So I was their errand boy, like a real errand boy that was ready to do the work of an errand boy. So I was everywhere. But the financial inducement was not there, and financial encouragement as a young boy. But because my desire was to have a good practice and to have experience, I endured. I can remember I used to go to places like Damaturu. That was my first time of going outside the West and the core Abuja after my service. So you see me in Damaturu, you see me in places like Yobe, Jos, everywhere, Ilorin and others. Then in 2004, I was called upon by the law firm of Remedium Chambers, headed by Mr. Frederick Itula, who is now the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, to come and be the head of chambers, which I graciously accepted. And I was head of chambers for between 2004 to 2007. 2004 to 2006, why I now had my own law firm. Even though the law firm was registered in 2004, it was registered but kept in abeyance. So, but 2006, I took off personally. And in 2007, in 2004, I dabbled into politics of Ondo State. And in 2007, I conducted an election for the House of Assembly, Ondo State House of Assembly in 2007. In the general election, I participated, even though I lost to PDP. I was a candidate of AC, and I impacted my people. And when I lost the election, people were afraid that, oh, you have offended a vibrant lawyer who will see to the fact that the result of the election was challenged. But invariably, after due consideration, I thought by fighting such a battle, my legal practice would suffer. So I abandoned the issue of litigation, election petition, and I commenced my practice immediately. And I now formed another law firm called Advocate Lawyers, where the advocate lawyer was to capture my intendment, my desire to be an advocate of the masses. And one or two other guys joined me in the course. And the journey has been like that on and on and on and on and on until 2013, while I traveled to United States of America for International Bar Conference. And in one of the occasions, my friend, Afam Osigesi, tapped me from the back and said, young man, is it not time for us to start preparing to be a senior advocate of Nigeria? Yes, I know I am a positivist, and whatever I believe in, I get it done. I don't care whether I have somebody behind me, whether there's a godfather anywhere, or there's money somewhere. I take off once I believe in it, and by the grace of God, I've been succeeding in my doubting task. Well, I joined him and I joined his faith. When we came back to Nigeria, we started preparing, putting in our paper, putting in our documents. But finally, in 2019, Afam Osigesi called me and said, brother, I'm going to apply this year. How? I said, wow, wonderful. Don't worry, go ahead, I'll follow you. Yes, I had almost, at that point, 2019, almost all my documents were complete. 2019 application was against 2020. So invariably, Afam got it in 2020, which gladdened my heart and spurred me more to prepare more and get there. So in 2020, yes, I put in my application. Put in my application in 2020, but against 2021. So 2021, well, I got to the final stage, but as we all know, it is a privileged position. So when at the end of it, or at the end of the exercise, my name was not included in the final list. I took it with all joy. It's a privilege, and what more determined. At that point, I was more determined that, well, if I can get here without anybody help, without assistance from anybody, then it means I can do it. So the do it in me was activated more, and I put in for the 2021 against 2022, and at the end of the exercise in 2022, I was successful, and there the journey as a senior advocate of Nigeria commenced. But when I get to that center, it is then I now discover that the higher you go in life, the more responsibility you have. One, as a senior advocate of Nigeria, much is expected of you. Anyway, we know the adage that who much is given, much is expected. So I have to sit tight more because, one, I am like a bridge between the youth and the old one. When you consider my age, I can remember vividly when I was shortlisted, I don't even be given Mr. Mr. Adeboro SAN called me to his office and said, we are proud of you, but we want you to go out there, tell the youth that it is doable, that if you can do it without anybody's input, then tell the youth, be the ambassador to preach to the youth that it is doable. I was like, sir, I've not even been confirmed with the rank of now. They will give you. So I left. At the end of the day, I was given. And what impressed me most was the kind of contribution I got from the elders, which I'm not going to name names here, towards my elevation or after my elevation in terms of financial assistance, saying, oh, young man who has no support from anybody, take this amount, take that amount for your roof. It really encouraged me. It means that within me, it was a signal that you are doing well. You know, so that again has put more impetus to my zeal to do more, particularly to humanity. And in my own little way, I'll be doing it. And I'm praying for God's grace to do more. But above all, the comment of people during my elevation ceremony was a reflection, or were reflections of who I am, and which I've been studying. It is very important for every man to know yourself, know who you are. The fact that you are brilliant does not mean you have good success if you don't know who you are. The fact that you are not intelligent does not mean you cannot succeed in life. All you need to know is to study who you are and improve on your person. And again, for every position you find yourself, you work hard to live up to standard. Some people, when they get to a position, they feel they've got to the apex and they go to rest, to relax. Life is not like that. We are learning on daily basis until we die. You see, again, the comment first is in the Heroes, when he said a professor in the a general who was leading the war after the war, the civil war, said, "Oh, now I know that I'm still learning." You know, new things come up daily, so we learn on daily basis. The fact that you become a certificate of Nigeria does not mean you have got it all or you have arrived. To me, as far as I'm concerned, it's just the beginning of the journey of life, though in another stage. So what you need to do is to ensure that constantly you improve for yourself. Like I said, the world is changing. That now we are in the world of technology. I cannot go and sleep while the world is changing on daily basis. So the fact that I'm a certificate of Nigeria does not mean I've got to the apex of my life or my career. So I'm still working, I'm still learning, I'm still studying. And as I said to you, I'm still in school, I'm a student. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, NSC, for being a wonderful one. Thank you for stories, for running us through your journey so far to becoming a senior advocate of Nigeria. In a short while, I don't know if you can tell us what motivated you to become a lawyer. So is this something you've always, when you were growing up, or you just woke up one day and decided to be a lawyer?
I told you that I grew up as a young man in the village who, in my life, for 14 years, I never saw a lawyer. And there was no television to even see a lawyer. So it was that bad. But one thing is this. Predominantly, even in the village, in those days, there are two categories of professions that people tend to love: law or medicine. When you hear doctor or lawyer. But what I did as a young man, even as a young boy, I used to hear of some names, big names, and I would be comparing myself to them, that I would be like so person. I'll be like so person. You know? There was a man in my place, they call him, was Magistrate Adoju Telegon. He was from Arigidi, Akoko, but whether I was residing in Ikare, I don't know. But I never, even from my own village to another village, I never traveled until maybe when I was 13 years old. So, but that man was prominent. And they said he was a lawyer, and that he was very bold. And there was another lawyer, a king, Chief Wale of Ikare. It was another man that he was a lawyer and very courageous, very bold man. So when those two people, because they were bold and they could talk to anybody, they can challenge anybody, and because of my own nature, that's the kind of nature I have. I can talk, I can do anything. I fear nobody except God Almighty. So that's for me a little, but I never saw them, so say they will encourage me. But I just believe, I want to be a lawyer. Even though I've not seen, I didn't know I'll be a lawyer. And that's why I chose, when they were guiding us, you want to be in the house, do this, do that. So I did history, did government, did literature, and all those art courses that will lead me to law. So you see, when I did my JAMB, I applied for JAMB 1990. Yes, that was my first JAMB, and that was the only JAMB. Anyway, when I applied for JAMB, I chose University of Abuja. I think University of Abuja was very new, relatively new then. University of Abuja, first choice, law. University of Abuja, second choice, law. Then University of Port Harcourt, third choice, political science. This happened in Lagos. I moved to Lagos. So my elder brother, who helped me obtain the form, and who went through after filling the form, went through the form, and said, "Hey, law, who will sponsor you? Your parents are peasant farmers in the village. Why do you think you can have money to study law?" He said, "My friend, give me tippers." He raised law. He now made political science as the first choice, law as the third choice. Now, when he did this, with my elder brother, he knew better than I did. I agree. So invariably, political science was in Port Harcourt. So I scored very well in my JAMB. So yes, I went to Port Harcourt to do my admission to political science. Precisely was November 1991. I was Uniport. And incidentally, as soon as I got to Uniport, I was accepted by the young guys. I was in their midst. So I felt at home. And there was no law in Port Harcourt. So when for break, Christmas break, I came back home to Lagos. So when I was at home, my people were celebrating, he has got admission in Port Harcourt. So one man, my uncle, now said, this guy that is within, that we know, that we can still monitor here, that is this stubborn, that allow him to go to Port Harcourt as a small boy like this, that only God will save him. That we should not allow him to go back. They took me to another uncle who was a lecturer in University of Port Harcourt, Unilag, Dr. Izedi Adejimo. He was a lecturer in English and Literary Studies. The man looked at me and said, why did you choose Port Harcourt? Why did you choose University of Abuja? I don't know university in the West. Particularly when you are a stubborn boy, that everybody is trying to cage at home. I said, I don't know, I just want to go far. The man said, no. Anyway, I'm going to he had retired from University of Lagos, and I was going to Ondo State University that same year, December when I go home. I was going to Ado to do some documentation, that I was going there on contract. I should follow him. So I followed him to Ado Ekiti. So we're there December. So in January, so let me go back to school. Say no, so that he called somebody, said, precisely I remember him, Kuku Kingsley, who was the special assistant to the president on amnesty, President Jonathan. The Kuku Kingsley, Baba called Kuku Kingsley and said, Kuku, please, let me go and help him apply for English and Literary Studies. in this school so that I won't go back to Uniport. So when the guy was calling, when the guy now took me outside the Baba's office, and he took a sheet of paper and he wrote application for admission for English and literary study or law. That was the exact way. That was January. By February 1992, I went to this. No, I heard that the admission was out. Admission notice was out. Admission list was out on the notice board. So I went there. The next thing I saw was my name on law. I actually went through the list on literary study, English and literary study. I didn't see my name there, so I assumed that maybe they won't take me here. On the second thought, let me just check the list on law. And I saw my name there on Faculty of Law. That's how. When I went back to him to say, Daddy, I've been given admission. He said, which course? I said, law. He said, what? How? So that was how I became a student of the law faculty. And incidentally, we had the pioneer dean, in fact, pioneer lecturer, only lecturer, and dean was Professor Akin Oyebode. Professor Akin Oyebode inspired us. Even though he scared us to death, it didn't spare anybody. Because it will tell you law faculty is not meant for the feeble-minded. It's not meant for average students. You must be brilliant, and it's for the royals, not for, the kind of, he's a Professor Akiyobode is a cerebral professor of law, of international law. So he personally supervised us. And today, I'm grateful to him. In fact, all the pioneer students of that university, we are all grateful to him because we are doing very well in different areas we find ourselves. So that was the journey. That's how I got to study law.
And I would like to ask again on behalf of young lawyers out there. Yeah, like you said, you are into litigation, and if I'm to calculate from the years you mentioned so far, that should be over 20 years as a litigation practitioner. So we'd like to know, is there any particular case you've done for the 20 years that has gotten you so fulfilled? And yes, this was actually one of the reasons why God brought me to law. Maybe human rights cases, maybe anything, maybe criminal cases, maybe civil, or any case. Has there been any case, might even be on the pro bono, that you feel like you want to share with us, that actually got you fulfilled as well?
I have done so many matters that got me fulfilled. The first one that I can remember was in Ibadan, Ashwabala Chambers. I can't remember the precise day, but it was in October. That's October 3rd. Or 2nd of October, 1999. I was called on the 28th of September, 1999. Now, I resumed office on October 2nd or 3rd. I'm not too precise. I'm not too sure of that one. But when I got there, I was assigned a matter the following day. I can't remember the name of that judge now, but I can't remember the name of the judge now, but High Court of Oyo State. I was given a file to go and move a motion for amendment. And as a young lawyer who is eager to go and dole it out there, I didn't ask questions. No, I resumed office at that 2nd of October to go and handle a matter on the 3rd of October. And they gave me a file on the 2nd. So on the 3rd, I was before the High Court. And when they called my case, I stood up. I announced the appearance for the plaintiff. No, I resumed office at that 2nd of October to go and handle a matter on the 3rd of October. And they gave me a file on the 2nd. So on the 3rd, I was before the High Court. And when they called my case, I stood up. I announced the appearance for the plaintiff. But the defendant was not in court. So my lord asked, so, Mr. Adeboro, what's the matter for? And I told the court that the matter was for motion. He said, go on. Is your motion right for hearing? I said, my Lord, I'm sure I think it's right for hearing. It's okay, go on. Palpably, he had recognized that I was a new week. He said, go on. So I started my normal way. Anyway, it was not strange to me because I was the attorney of my school for 4 years. So constantly we'll be doing moots and mock trials. So I was I knew it, I knew how it was done. So I was moving my motion. So when I finished moving my motion, my Lord now has paused and asked me, say, Mr. Adeboro, okay, wait a minute. Have you served the other party? I said, my Lord, I was told they have been served. He said, when were they served? I said, my Lord, I'm not in charge. I wouldn't know when they were charged. He said, okay, I have the record of service in my file. Let me read out for you. That this motion was served on the defendant yesterday by 5 p.m. I said, my Lord, in the light of that, my motion is not ready for hearing. That they are entitled to 48 hours. I said, wonderful. So wonderful. I'm sure you are a new week. I said, yes, my Lord, I'm a new week. He said, okay, I noticed that. Please, I'll give you another date. You must come back personally to come and move this motion. That really encouraged me. Another incident was when I think I was 3 or 4 years at bar. I had a matter before Justice Gumi, the former CJ of FCT. Now it was, I had wanted to get an injunction, an interim injunction, ex parte. So all my documents were in. The court was in for 5 then. My Lord said I should move my motion. So as I was moving my motion again, my Lord now paused and said, Mr. Adeboro, wait a minute. Your motion, there is a particular item that is lacking, or ingredient that was lacking in your motion. He said, okay, let me ask the court. He asked all the lawyers in the court. Nobody could respond. But quickly, I remember that there was a particular ingredient for granting ex parte injunction that was not included in my affidavit. And I said, my Lord, I remember. He said, what is this? I said, there was no undertaking to pay damages. How my Lord said, wonderful. He said, please go and depose for the affidavit and come before me tomorrow morning. Gave me the following day. I was so happy. But I did say, immediately I left the court, I deposed for the affidavit. I came before the court the following day. But behold, the court was filled to the brim with learned senior advocate of Nigeria. So, the moment the court sat at 9 precisely, my Lord looked around and said, is that Mr. Adeboro in court? I said, my Lord, I'm here, sir. He said, okay, learned sick and counsel, please, it's our boy. Let's hear him first. Let's listen to him. You know, we need to encourage him. He said, please call his case. They called my case. So when they called my case, I started arguing that the moment I finished, my Lord just said, your application is granted. He said, this is what I'm saying, that when you come before me, knowing fully what you are doing, then I grant you whatever you want. He said, I am proud of it. I felt on top of the world that day, and that I am going to, this litigation, I'm going to do it. I will excel because I've got the favor of God and the favor of men.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
So you see, one thing I would like, if I have my means, a way to tell the judges not to shout down on young lawyers. When you shout them down, you discourage them, you dampen their spirit. No judge has ever shouted on me in court, all through my practice today. Even in Supreme Court. I remember there was a matter that I had in Supreme Court 2 times. One, I was to argue my appeal, but there were some pending applications which I did not know that were pending. My Lord Justice, Honorable Justice Roosevelt presided over the matter, GSC. My Lord, after I'd argued my appeal. And Lord said, he said, Mr. Adeboro, there's a motion dated so in the file. Would you like to withdraw it? I said, my Lord, thank you, sir. Thank you, my Lord. He said, the motion is hereby withdrawn. He said, okay, you forgot to tell us. What do you want us to do? You want us to allow the appeal? I said, my Lord, thank you, my Lord. You see, ordinarily, you know that is not what is applicable in the Supreme Court. They shout on you. In fact, they will give you date immediately that come back next. You are not ready, But I find favor. Even during my application for Senior Advocate of Nigeria, I call it fan favor. Well, when the Supreme Court justice stood up for you, you are a child or son of nobody, but the entire Supreme Court stood up for you, then it means you are enjoying God's favor and my favor. Now, I've done several cases that give me the zeal, the courage to march on, to move on with force in this profession. That it does not matter whether you have somebody backing you or not. Once you have God, there's no limitation. And that is my principle, my guiding principle that has been propelling me in this profession.
That is very beautiful and very impressive. Based on your collection of experience and engagement with both advocates and jurists, we would like to know who you feel is the most impactful to you of all advocates and jurists you have had any encounter with, and their qualities and contributions that you can single out from others.
Well, I don't like here to mention names, but both from the bench and the bar, I have been encouraged tremendously. From the High Court, I've told you my background is extremely poor. No one who is a lawyer, no one who is a judge, or who knows a judge, or anyway, I don't know anybody. And I came to Abuja without knowing anybody. The first brief I got in Abuja was given to a friend of my brother who asked me to go and register a company for him. Most of the cases, or most of the clients I have now, were clients I was against in court. So I did not know anybody. I did not have anybody who introduced me to anybody. So most clients I have now are clients who saw me in court perform and were impressed. Opponents, clients that are working against, will want to abandon their lawyer to come and engage me ignorantly. So from the bench, I have a good number of judges who are my model. I've seen them deliver judgment. I've seen their conduct in terms of integrity, in terms of in control of their court, that I learned from, that you should be in control of whatever you're doing and fear nobody. There are a lot of them like that. We have a lot of fearless judicial officers in Nigeria. You cannot take it away that there are no bad eggs. They are there. My stand on that is that whenever there is a problem with anybody, there are machinery through which you can channel your grievances. Okay? Then when you come to the bar, the first person I can never forget in my life is Are Afebalola SAN. He will sit me down and tell me sweeting words. And one of the occasions was when I was in his office and he told me that if you want to excel in this career, this profession, he said, one, you must be hardworking. You must have faith in God. And you must, again, be hardworking. And apart from the words, even his conduct impacted me tremendously. Even at old age, if you go and see him, you see how this man had work almost round the clock. And in my own little way, I've copied his pattern. Okay? I've copied his pattern. And the president attorney general of the Federation, Prince Lateef Agbomi SAN, again, you know, he was young when I joined the firm, when I was under him. Young, but an able young man who at 10 already got senior advocate of Nigeria rank. When I was interviewed, I told him that, sir, I want to be like you. And his response was like, you must be. He said, you must be. These are my leading lights. It's unfortunate that the late Bamidele Aturu is not alive today. It's another model that I cherished, that I followed. When I joined politics, he stopped greeting me. If I call him, he will not pick my call. When I lost the election, when I came back, I said, I told you, what are you looking for? You're on the right track, you're going to the wrong track. Face your profession. Face this your litigation. We are proud of you as a young boy, the way you walk. Why do you now want to derail? He spoke to me, scolded me. I said, don't go back there. Today, the day they announced that he was dead, tears run my cheek. Because I knew who I had lost in my life. My boss, Adesina, okay. Again, because that was my first point of call as per litigation in Abuja. Did well for me too, and a host of others. Bola Idi is an advocate of Nigeria. Just a great brother who will see cases and call me to come and join. And a host of others. So, from both sides, it has been good experience for me. I have no grudge against anybody in the legal profession. I've not offended anybody, nobody has offended me. Because I believe it's a free world and I can work with anybody. If you are bad, you are good, you are ugly, whatever, I can work with anybody. I will treat you according to who you are. All I need to know to do is to do the artisanal biochemistry of you. And that was the first lecture I got from my professor, Professor Oyebode. He said, if you are going to a court, you first of all know the artisanal biochemistry of your judge. Whether it's a temperamental judge or a cool-headed judge. That will determine your approach to the court. So that's why I can deal with anybody.
Wow, that's nice. We're happy you shared this with us. And on the final note, we'd like to know if you have any word of advice for young lawyers out there.
Fantastic, I have. I am their godfather. Yes, I'm a leading light, a worthy horse. My professor, again, after the conferment of rank of senior advocate, I was sitting here when he placed a call. And he said, Adeboro, you are a worthy horse. You know, today, because of how God has elevated me, it's not by power, not by might. It's not because I'm hardworking. It's not because I'm clever. It's not because I know anybody. The grace of God. All I have for the youth is be resilient, be resolute, be committed, be positive, and know that it is doable. And that you, irrespective of where you're coming from, irrespective of your background, you can do it. If the push is there, you get to the top.
Thank you so much, Adamson. Thank you. It's been fun having you on the show today. We really want to thank you for your time and for those words of encouragement. And I'm sure a lot of young lawyers are watching this show now and they will be glad. Thank you so much for listening. Guys, thank you for watching today's episode. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do that now and kindly share this video. So be expecting many more of these videos.